The Mental Health Consumer Psychology of Clustering versus Clock-Based Scheduling, written, edited, created, and published by Nisa Pasha. Within this blog you will find intuitive examples and lived experience as well as informative educational components, in addition to theories that represent inspiring harm reduction and health and wellness insight to alert the cause and effect reaction in a simple way to better understand the urgency and importance in implementing clustering versus clock-based scheduling. For many years I was an orthodox person, beginning at adolescence, going to school, waking up at the same time, following a to-do list versus a schedule based off of a time develops by a system of education and occupation. All other tasks during the day consist of me following no time, just relaxing and enjoying my leisure time that was very free and enjoying without stress. I like to say that I do not want to be a hypocrite setting a scheduled time within a planner, which usually results in me not following through. It allows me as an independent person to live in somewhat of contingency and reliance, leaving room for sin and hypocrisy. Scheduling done hour to hour without clustering has not only affected my life as a single independent woman, but it also is a universal law of attraction that creates stumbling blocks and barriers to my success on my pathway to purity. I have found that unorthodox people seek to live unstable lives that are delusional and have personality traits, seeing themselves as above average rather than a dependent in a reliance. While orthodox persons are independent and self-reliant outside of seeking the fundamentals of financial, dietary, and minimization of communication without seeking to get well off others from forced communication. Clustering timelines without a time schedule has been very beneficial in contributing to me climbing the ladder to success in a flexible yet frequent way without various setbacks. I like to say, as the Bible says, it is a sin to make future plans, which leaves room for error and failure. When use clustering to organize my thoughts and behaviors, I find myself less stressed due to the flexibility and allowance of the window period and options within the clustered groups, where I can organize my thoughts best without referring to a documented schedule. I prefer to refer to my mental note, remembering what needs to be done as opposed to what time it needs to be done, without being hypocritical. Clustering timelines is like organizing your day into cozy, intuitive vibes, instead of stiff hour-by-hour appointments. Think of it as grouping similar activities like creative work, movement, or rest into flexible time blocks that match your energy, not the clock. It's how urban creatives, wellness warriors, and mindful professionals escape the chaos of ticking timers and ride the natural rhythms of their body and brain. No more stressing over missed minutes, just flowing from a focused morning zone into a nourishing lunch block, then easing into chill, low-stress evenings. It's smart, soulful time management with groove and grace. The psychology of clustering versus clock-based scheduling. 1. Cognitive load reduction. Timeline planning reduces decision fatigue by organizing your day around themes or energy zones rather than rigid hours. The brain prefers categorization over fragmented microscheduling. Psych benefit: less cognitive strain, more fluidity. Leads to better adherence and less burnout, especially for neurodivergent or anxious minds. 2. Alignment with ultradian rhythms. Your body doesn't operate on a strict hourly clock. It follows ultradian cycles. Clustering respects these rhythms by allowing tasks to expand or contract within windows, not forcing productivity when your body's in a low-energy phase. Wellness outcome: improved physical stamina, better focus, reduced stress. 3. Promotes habit stacking and associative anchoring. When tasks are grouped by theme, your brain forms stronger habitual links. This is called associative anchoring. Doing actions together makes them stick better than isolated time-bound actions. Behavioral gain: greater consistency and retention of healthy behaviors over time. 4. Reduces guilt and increases autonomy. Time-based scheduling often leads to shame spirals when a task isn't done on time. Timeline clusters create psychological flexibility, encouraging progress over perfection and fostering a sense of agency instead of failure. Mental health impact: lower anxiety, better mood regulation, higher self-trust. 5. Improves flow state and creativity. Grouping tasks into cognitive emotional categories allows the brain to enter and stay in flow. Clock-based shifts force abrupt transitions, breaking flow and increasing cortisol. Creative benefit. More immersion, better quality work and sustainable creativity. 6. Supports holistic wellness planning. Cluster-based timelines naturally integrate self-care, body movement, meals, emotional check-ins, etc. as part of the system, not squeezed into leftover minutes. This aligns with integrative wellness models that view time and energy cycles, not hours. Whole person effect. Balanced nervous system, reduced inflammation and improved hormonal cycles. Summary table. Clusters versus clock-based planning. Aspect. Cluster-based planning. Clock-based scheduling. Mental load lower. More flexible. Higher. Strict transitions. Flow and creativity encourages deep work, often interrupts flow. Wellness integration. Built-in rest. Mindfulness often overlooked or crammed. Habit formation stronger through thematic linking. Weaker due to fragmentation. Emotional impact reduces guilt, increases autonomy, triggers anxiety or perfectionism. Biological alignment matches ultradian rhythms misaligned with body energy cycles. Final note. Clustering is intuitive, rhythmic and humane. For anyone seeking mental clarity, physical health and emotional resilience, organizing your life into purpose-driven blocks or clusters, rather than chasing the clock, creates a gentler and more sustainable structure. How clustering organization reduces stress and improves physical health. 1. Lowers cortisol through reduced decision fatigue. When your day is broken into clusters, you make fewer microdecisions. The brain thrives on patterns. Clustering creates ritualized zones rather than chaotic multitasking. This reduces the mental load, which decreases cortisol production, the stress hormone linked to inflammation, belly fat, and burnout. Health impact. Lower blood pressure, reduced adrenal fatigue, improved hormonal balance. 2. Creates predictability and psychological safety. Clusters provide emotional certainty. When your mind knows what kind of activity to expect, versus jumping task to task, the nervous system feels safer. Predictability soothes the amygdala, the part of the brain that detects threats, reducing the fight or flight response. Nervous system benefit. Decreased anxiety, improved digestion, deeper sleep. 3. Supports restorative body rhythms. Your body operates on 90-120-minute energy cycles. Clustering allows you to work with these natural rhythms, allowing time for recovery and rest, which reduces inflammation and stress load on the body. Physical result. More energy, better immune function, reduced headaches and chronic fatigue. 4. Promotes mind-body harmony through task synergy. Grouping similar tasks creates coherence in your nervous system. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, a state where healing, cellular regeneration and digestion are optimized. Whole body effect. Healthier gut, clearer skin, stronger metabolic balance. 5. Prevents multitasking burnout. Multitasking, often caused by clock-based microschedules, floods the brain with dopamine and adrenaline, which feel productive but actually stress the body. Clustering encourages deep focus within each category, which helps the brain stay in flow rather than panic mode. Anti-burnout benefit. Sustained productivity without nervous system collapse. 6. Allows built-in breaks without guilt. Clustering naturally builds in transition time, unlike rigid time schedules. Knowing you have a recovery and reset block, for example, validates rest as part of the system, not as a reward or escape. Stress recovery gain. Less guilt around downtime, deeper cellular repair, better mood regulation. Summary. The wellness science behind clustering. Clustering effect. Health benefit. Reduces decision fatigue, lower cortisol. Calmer mind aligns with biological energy cycles, hormonal balance. Increased vitality encourages single tasking and flow, less burnout. More focused nervous system validates rest within structure. Improved recovery and emotional regulation builds consistent rituals, better digestion, sleep, Immunity and body awareness. Final takeaway. Clustering is not just about productivity, it's about protecting your health. By aligning your day with energy, intention, and rhythm, instead of ticking off hours, you create a sustainable, low-stress environment where your body and mind can thrive. The example of a mental health consumer's experience with clustering. Lived experience. Maya's story, clustering versus clock-based scheduling. Background. Maya is a 34-year-old woman who works remotely as a graphic designer. She has no chronic illnesses, but she struggled with mild anxiety and overthinking, frequent tension, headaches, digestive upset during high-pressure weeks, a sense of being behind every day, even though she was highly capable. Her previous system? A rigid 24-hour clock-based planner. 6:30 a.m. Wake up 7 o'clock, 7:30 a.m. Workout 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock a.m. Emails 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. Client work. And so on, with hourly tasks slotted back to back. The problem with the clock system. After 6 months of sticking to this model, she began to dread her mornings. Even with workouts scheduled, they felt forced. Skipping a task by even 10 minutes triggered guilt, throwing off her confidence. She noticed body tension, especially in her jaw and shoulders, by mid-afternoon. Her digestion was off, despite eating healthy meals, because she was eating under stress. Watching the clock, she realized, my body doesn't run on the hour. Why am I trying to live like it does? Her shift to clustering. Instead of strict scheduling, she grouped her day into thematic wellness clusters based on mind-body needs and creative energy flow. Cluster 1. Mind-body activation focus. Waking up the nervous system, gently stretching plus breathwork, herbal tea and silent journaling, light creative sketching or nature walk. I'm easing into my day with mindfulness and intuition, not pressure. Result: her anxiety decreased. She noticed her breathing deepened by 8 a.m., and her thoughts were calmer by the time she opened her laptop. Cluster 2. Creative flow focus. Deep design work. Headphones on, all client work was done here, no calls or multitasking, music chosen based on mood. I'm flowing, not scrambling. Body outcome: no headaches. She noticed her shoulders stayed relaxed, and her gut wasn't clenching, unlike when she was switching between meetings and tasks every hour. Cluster 3. Integration and nourishment focus. Eating slowly, digesting, body resets, phone away during lunch, 15-minute walk plus stretch after eating, no obligation tasks. This is my body's rhythm, not the world's clock. Digestive improvement. She no longer experienced post-lunch bloating or fogginess. Her parasympathetic nervous system was activated consistently. Cluster 4. Light admin and communication focus. Lighter thinking, email replies, casual collaboration. She knew her energy dipped here, so she didn't fight it, she flowed with it. Cluster 5. Evening rituals focus. Emotional closure, physical unwinding, sound bath, reading or body oiling, phone off by 8:30 p.m. No need to perform anything. Evenings are for restoration, not catch-up. Mind-body outcomes. After just 3 weeks of using the clustering model, her sleep deepened, REM cycles improved, dreams became vivid, her period arrived with less cramping, suggesting lower systemic stress. Her posture improved, since tension wasn't compounding silently throughout the day. She smiled more, her facial tension relaxed. In psychological terms, she moved from a sympathetic nervous system dominance to a more balanced state, with regular engagement of the parasympathetic system. Conclusion: Maya realized, I don't need to master time, I need to partner with my energy. By organizing her life into intentional, body-attuned clusters, she freed herself from the tyranny of the ticking clock, and reclaimed her health, rhythm, and joy. In closing, clustering timelines offers a restorative and psychologically sound alternative to conventional clock-based scheduling. It honors the body's natural rhythms, reduces mental strain, and fosters environments where sustainable health habits can take root. As someone navigating the demands of wellness with lived mental health experience, I've found this approach to be more than a time management tool. It is a therapeutic framework that supports clarity, autonomy, and nervous system regulation. By organizing time around intention rather than obligation, clustering invites balance where rigidity once ruled. I encourage others to explore this structure with compassion, flexibility, and awareness. Let it guide, not govern, your journey toward greater wellness. In theory, unhealthy habits, including bad choices of people who we communicate with, deplete and decline our health, which influence the number of viral spores in the body. They look like clusters. These clusters are usually red and purple in color. By staying true to self and without being hypocritical, focusing on the self-centered approach and self-reliance, it is best to stray away from consumption and exposure to indecencies that are not uniquely crafted. The mental health consumer should strive for a one-directional way in lieu of the hybrid animal. For example, beef and dairy. The cow is a hybrid animal which consists of high amounts of red spores and clusters, which are depleting and demeaning to those who seek to be in line without hypocrisy, finding stability and balance. When we look at the soft aspect of clustering and find the physical hard skills of clustering, we can see how it can be alternatively decreased within our dietary to improve our harm reduction through clustering organizations within ourselves for the self-reliance to sustain our own lives as opposed to depleting ourselves, our environment, and another's wellness, finances, and health. If you have specific questions or concerns, feel free to share. Hope you found this insightful while grasping the key components. Please contact me if you would like to chat in a peer counseling session revolving around this post or another topic. Mental health revival, seeking to inspire a unique perception of mental health awareness.